Alright, here's 7 signs that you are a lone wolf. Firstly, what is a lone wolf? A lone wolf is someone who enjoys being alone. It is as simple as that. Now, it also means that you might enjoy people's company certain times, because we all as human beings need social interactions. That's why you realize that even in prison there's social interaction time, and there's a limit to how long a prison can confine an inmate in solitary confinement, because being alone can affect your mental state. So let's get into lone wolf. Yes. Yes to all lone wolves out there, my fellow lone wolves. Let's have a look. Okay, 7 signs that you are a lone wolf. Now, what about these signs here? You are self-reliant. Now, you take care of your own problems. You find solutions on your own. People always say 2 heads are better than 1. But for lone wolves, we have all we need right up here through our past experiences. And what else? We have independence. That's a given. We like to spend time on our own. We value our alone and me time. We solve problems on our own. For example, we need to move, or we need to come up with a plan for our business or personal lives. We set out our own plans step by step, independently, alone. Now, emotional resilience. We're able to control our emotions well. Sadness, anger, guilt, happiness. That's not really always the case. Like for my case, there are times where I do get sad and require a listening ear. Being a lone wolf, we treasure quality over quantity in terms of friendships. We have a limited number of friends. For me, I can count using just one hand. I have only 3 best buddies that I usually hang out with. But they are lifelong buddies. I've known one of my friends since we were teenagers till now in our 40s. So 30, close to 30 years. So we value friendships, and there are times where I do need to maybe speak to somebody, but majority of the time, I would say 80% on my own. That's right. How about you guys? On your own? That's right, good. Alright, next. Strong work ethic. We value our goals and aspirations. We take them very seriously, and we really go all out to achieve them. Yes, sounds very accurate, right? Next, avoidance of crowds and large. Yes, this is something that I can relate to perfectly. There are places that I totally avoid in Singapore due to the crowds. It's not nice to say, but I loved it during the pandemic where everywhere was quiet. You just go and do your stuff and get out. So I love places that give you peace and you got space to walk without having to nod your head and acknowledge another person's presence. So I avoid crowds. I love places that give me my space. What about you guys? What's your favorite place if you are, for those Singaporeans and those in America, my American friends, any cool places in New York that allows you to just get away from the crowd? Where? Drop me some comments. preference for solitude, of course, lone wolves we prefer solitude compared to crowds and groups. Even small, even in pairs on threes might be a little bit too much for us. We prefer myself, and I. Deep thinking and introspection. Now, when we're alone, we usually have time to do a lot of soul searching and thinking, evaluation. So this is good for our personal growth because it helps us to maybe make the changes that we require to be better people. If you need to, for example, change an aspect, maybe you are a bit too panicky, you are a little bit too overly sensitive, you need to make adjustments. Maybe you need to use certain affirmations, you need to read certain books, you need to take certain steps to journal, or whatever that you need to do, an action that you need to take, you're able to think through and take it, right? Before taking it, you think and consider all the options available. So you do plenty of self introspection and thinking through. So a lot of time to help you to solve any kind of problems. You go back to the earlier point, right? When you're alone, you don't have another head to actually come up with solutions. So you think about how you can solve the problem. You evaluate each solution or run through in your mind how the outcome would turn out to be, and you select one, put your plan into action, and really go for it. So there you have it. Lone wolves, accurate? I think so.